Thank you, Doug. Our next speaker is the president and CEO of the St. Louis Blues, Mr. Chris Zimmerman. He was hired by our owner, Tom Sillman, back in 2014, has done a fantastic job. Chris has over 30 years of experience in sports marketing, business management, including 10 years with the Vancouver Canucks, Nike, and Easton. Also, he played some hockey at the University of Vermont. I did not know that, but I think Chris, to this day, plays with the Blues alumni on game days. But in the last couple of years, as I said earlier in my remarks, the growth of the Blues has been astonishing. And obviously, they've had a very good product on the ice, but season ticket sales are way up. Sponsorship is way up. We were, the other day, Chris and I and a lot of other people were at Busch Stadium for the kickoff press conference for the Winter Classic. So it is a great time to be a fan of the St. Louis Blues, and I'm sure, Chris Zimmerman, it's also a great time for you to be the president and CEO of Business Operations. Chris Zimmerman.
Okay, wow. It's interesting. I will tell you, I get to do these things a fair amount. I've talked to lots of big crowds, but never 500 hockey experts. Maybe more importantly, not a group this size of people who have given so much of themselves, so much of your lives to the game. And I actually want to start by thanking you, because I know that our sport, and whether it's what's happening in youth hockey, whether it's national teams, whether it's the NHL, the people out here, the coaches, the people who volunteer around this sport are really the lifeblood. And even the fact that people have come from all over the country and the kind of attendance that is demonstrated by this event, to me, is quite exceptional. I've been around the game most of my life. I started playing when I was 9. I grew up outside of the New York City. Got the chance to go and play some college hockey. At the time, actually, coaching was one of the paths that I was seriously thinking about. I was the assistant coach at a small Division III school outside of Boston, Babson College. Actually coached with Steve Sterling, who had a brief stint with the Islanders. And coaching was deeply in me as something I loved. But I was getting a business degree, and quite honestly, I probably said, wow, that's a lot of hard hours, the recruiting and a lot of the things that went with that career as a college coach. So I went into the business world, and quite honestly, I really never imagined that I would get back to hockey. You're looking at one of the luckiest, somebody who feels like they're the luckiest person in the world, because I go into advertising, I eventually go to Nike, and then in 2003, Nike had bought Bauer. They had bought Bauer back in '95. There were some struggles with the business, and I got to go back. I was asked and interviewed and then given the job to run Bauer hockey back in 2003. And actually, Larry mentioned Total Hockey. Michael Benoit, who I assure you is one of the most committed people to growing the game and to youth hockey, he was really just starting his business then. And so I get to work at Bauer. Then one day I get a call about the opportunity that the Vancouver Canucks are looking for a president and CEO. I assure you, I had never for 5 seconds actually, thought about that. And eventually I got that role, and suddenly I'm working with retailers who I was shopping from at an early age, and then I'm their business partner. And so got to do that, later went to Easton, and now here. You can imagine, for somebody who the first 20 years of his career had never even touched hockey, getting to be back in it and being able to be part of the St. Louis Blues, to be part of Missouri youth hockey, working to grow the game, it is without question a dream. And it's a dream mostly because when it's in you and when you feel the love of the game, there are lots of different ways that you might get to express that. I don't get out as much with the alumni as I would like, but I'm still skating. I remember right after college getting out one of my first men's skates. I go out, and there was a guy who I imagine at the time was probably 65, and I said, I want to do that. I want to make sure I'm still out on the ice. And it is one of the great things about our sport as a team game, because so many of the team sports, whether it's because of injuries, whatever the case may be, I think we've got a lifelong sport that you can hold up right next to tennis and golf. And that's a pretty fantastic thing. So I've had this amazing ride, and I assure you, I have so much respect for the people in this room and what you are giving back to the game. So I thought I would talk a little bit about St. Louis and what's going on here. We've got the slide up here, the heartland of hockey. We had the opportunity to bid on the World Juniors, and I assure you, I saw a city and a hockey community come together as well as any group I'd seen around the game. And all of my friends at USA Hockey will tell you, we made it a very challenging decision for them to either go back to Buffalo, where obviously on the Canadian border, there's a lot of things working for the event up there. But I feel confident that at one point here in the future, we're going to get that event here. And I think it's, as many of you know, it's one of the great hockey events going. As we worked on that, we realized we had a story to tell. And part of that is really the story of so many of the coaches, certainly the ones here locally, who helped build, if you will, the careers and the experiences for those kids who just got drafted, and for many others. And so let me show you a video here that we used during that presentation, and to give you a sense of our view of the heartland of hockey.
From the beginning, no matter where we came from, Massachusetts, Wisconsin, Minnesota, or St. Louis, the stories all begin the same.
Now, Morrow, up to Schultz, 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
Early mornings at the rink, the chill of a fresh sheet, the snug fit of your boot when you step on the ice. Each of these firsts feel like putting you on the map.
You're going to turn, put the puck under, jump over. Hatcher with it, shoots one, save, rebound, score! Amandi has broken the tie! Junior championships, the gold medal goes to the United States of America.
Foundations are built in rinks across the United States, but right here in St. Louis, the game is growing. We come from many places, each of us dreaming, sweating, giving everything to unite under the red, white, and blue, to represent our nation on our home ice, to win the gold for the first time on our soil in the heartland of hockey.
So I guess they'll have to try to win it in Buffalo for the first time, but but it sounded good at the time. But no, we're thrilled to have you here, and there is a lot that's quite special about what we've been creating here in St. Louis. So you may be able to see this. So this is a chart that's actually a year old now, and across multiple sports, talking about the largest growth of fan bases. And you can see, this is at a time where the Seahawks were a Super Bowl team. A number of these teams, the LA off a small base, had won a couple of Stanley Cups, and St. Louis is showing the same kind of growth, only off a bigger base. You will see, for any of you who are diving quickly into those numbers, that the NFL, the power of the Seahawks is pretty amazing. 74% of adults in that market have either watched, attended, or listened, which is what those numbers show. So great growth there, and certainly a good part of our story. Only one other chart I'll show you. This looks at the interest level in different sports here in St. Louis compared to a national average. You're basically in a baseball and hockey town. And we like gymnastics and figure skating as well, and some golf thrown in there. Actually, 2 years from now, we are proud that we'll be hosting the 100th PGA Championship at Belle Reve Country Club. So we do follow a few other sports, but it is interesting. You can see the NFL number, and this is before the Rams had left, was significantly below the country's, the average throughout other markets. But those are big numbers that says that people in St. Louis, our love of hockey, is over 2 times the national average. So quite significant. This was a very symbolic moment. So the night that the Rams announced that they were moving to LA, we decided that it was an important time to say to our fans, to say, quite honestly, not just to St. Louis, but to all sports fans, that there's a vibrant, strong love of sport here. And there is, and you saw it in those numbers. And so that picture on the left, you've got Bill DeWitt, the president of the Cardinals, in his Blues jacket, and then our chairman, Tom Stillman, in his Cardinals jacket. Part of this is just a statement as you're here over these next few days to say, we're a place that we do love our sports, we're committed to it, and we're actually committed to the way that our teams can make a difference in the community on multiple levels. And that's a really important thing. Listen, first and foremost, the thing that matters the most is that we have a Stanley Cup parade here one year. And I assure you that that's the number one core focus. As everybody knows, 29 other cities every year don't get to do that. So there has to be more in the equation for a professional hockey team, really any professional team, about what's the give back? What else are we doing to make a difference in the community and in people's lives? It was a great moment. And it doesn't hurt that Bill DeWitt, the Cardinals president, played some hockey at prep school and then at Yale. He was played some junior varsity hockey, and he also skates with the Blues alumni. So not a bad connection. So there's a deep connection between the two teams, and really valuable as you think about what's happening here. Obviously, this spring was quite special for us. It was the first time we'd been in the conference finals in 15 years. And quite honestly, if you look at our team and the number of regular season wins we'd had over the last 4 or 5 years, I know our coach has more regular season wins, so I guess our team does as well over that time period. But we'd really struggled to get past that first round. And so a big year. The city was amazing. And for those of you who live in NHL cities, that feeling when you're going through that and the way everyone in the community comes around it, and as more and more people come to the game, We think it was obviously a powerful thing for us, but we think it'll be a powerful initiative as we go forward. All the work that we do in the community is sort of headed up by under our umbrella foundation, which is Blues for Kids. And it's a simple recognition that we can make a difference, whether it's educational initiatives, health and wellness, or the other area that we're focused on is obviously hockey, and specifically growing the game. We're not here to run programs per se. We're here to be a facilitator, to find ways to make the game accessible. And that has to do with breaking down the barriers of both costs, making sure we've got enough facilities in the region, utilizing our megaphone to tell our story and to attract more and more players to the game. I would tell you, because I've been around the NHL now with several different hats on, 2 different teams and 2 different manufacturers. So I've spent a lot of time on the topic of growing the game. I was involved in the early days of some of the USA Hockey's first programs. Quite honestly, I worked in the golf business a little bit at Nike. Same type of initiative. How do you find ways in a sport that has both equipment and it really can be constrained by facilities to bring more people into the game? And so what I've seen, certainly from the Blues, and I'd also say from the NHL, is that the focus on this in terms of investment, programming, working with the PA as well, is at the highest level it's ever been at. And I think that should be for our programs and continuing to be healthy, have a healthy sport, to be making sure that your associations are healthy, that we're continuing to win kids into our game in a world that is just more and more fragmented and more challenging to keep kids in the sport. And so our efforts are really focused on the programs
I got a Let's Go Blues
that we
on
can
3.
bring.
1, 2, 3. There we go.
Well, my parents told us about the Little Blues program. She saw posting on a Facebook for it, and my boys both signed up. I have a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old, and they just absolutely love it.
Oh, we came in and get my little one sized up for hockey equipment for his Learn to Play program. So we walked through and did all the sizing and got all the necessary equipment for him to learn how to play hockey.
Is that comfortable? I believe it's a 4-week class where the kids learn to skate and the fundamentals of the game, and so not only were there pads included, the ice time and everything else. So I mean, it's a reasonable cost to get the kids involved.
Yeah, I just stumbled over to the Kirkwood Ice Arena and here with the Little Blues program, which is just a great program around here that the Blues are trying to get young kids involved and feed them into the game. And a lot of times, it's tough to get over the costs of hockey, but you can see the pure enjoyment that the kids get out of it. So for the program to be able to give back and give them the equipment they need to get on the ice, it's the step that they need to take to be able to play the game.
Go! Where's your celebration? There it is.
It's incredible. I can't believe what they have been able to do with it. Total Hockey was fantastic. CCM has great products, and the Blues have just been so nice with everything.
There you go, nice.
They've had a wonderful time.
Oh, I think you just have to enjoy it. I think I remember when I was a little kid, it can get a little frustrating. You're falling a lot, you get some bumps and bruises, but I tell them that I still fall to this day on the ice by myself, and I think that really you just have to enjoy it and not get too frustrated by it, and not as parents and everything, not pushing too hard.
Over here.
I'd like to say thank you for this opportunity and teaming up with Total Hockey and CCM to be able to provide this opportunity for my son to play hockey.
Well, and I would encourage any mom that has little boys that want to play hockey or are fans of the Blues, have never been on the ice, this is the perfect chance to get them involved.
Left. There you go. Hey, buddy. Still having fun? Okay. Up. That's it. I'm not moving.
So, Larry Boyd and many of our associations, obviously, were doing learn-to-play programs long before the Blues became involved. We're trying to give it more visibility. We're trying to grow the numbers. We're bringing additional resources. Obviously, our players getting involved. All the little things that we can do to make this more appealing and to make the game more accessible. So the program here is free equipment, $100 for, I believe it's 4 sessions, and then we feed the associations, the players who have been through this program. Last year, in terms of this particular part of the Blues program, we had about 250 kids go through the program, and that will close to double. It will be close to 500 this year, and hopefully within a couple of years, our goal is to get it up to 1,000 kids a year. So it's pretty significant investment, and it's really, that's one of the key feeder programs that we're focusing on. We've got other programs. We've got a Try Hockey for Free days. Actually, we're going to really utilize the focus on the Winter Classic this holiday to be doing those down in our arena. And then I'd say the other thing that we're doing in terms of exposing kids to the game, not every kid is going to become an ice hockey player. And so we, and I would say the league, and I would say pretty much every NHL team is also bringing a greater focus on utilizing ball hockey in schools as well as in community centers. So let me run a quick video that takes a look at that part of our program.
Came out to Moyle Elementary School today to do the inaugural Street Blues pilot program, and we dropped off a full set of equipment including 2 nets, 4 sets of goalie equipment, 36 sticks, and 30 pucks for the kids to use in their PE and after-school programs.
Well, we're really excited to partner with the Street Blues program. They'll be bringing the equipment to our PE program, giving the kids an opportunity to play hockey, something they've never done before, get moving, and then it'll also bring an after-school program to Moy that will be free of charge that the kids will be able to participate in.
Oh, this is a great addition to my PE curriculum. Hockey's something we've never been able to do before because we didn't have the equipment, and I'm always looking for new ways to expose the kids to new opportunities and new sports, things they haven't done before, and this is going to be a great way to do that.
So the numbers are pretty significant. In our first year, we hit 25,000 kids, which is quite exceptional. And you can see the growth numbers and the objectives that we want to move this program to, where we'll be close to 60,000 local kids playing street hockey. That's going to create some fans. It's going to create some kids who want to get into the either Try Hockey for Free or Learn to Play. It's exposure. And it's making the game or introducing the game really any way we can. And as I said, the league, I would say, has experience and success doing this in a number of markets. And so we're quite committed and we'll continue to do this program. The final piece for us is making sure that we're working on rink development and understanding the challenges of the ice rink business. I think many of you see situations where facilities either aren't getting ongoing investment, communities are challenged to keep them going. I would say that most private ventures, particularly ones with higher upfront costs, are really challenged to do that on their own. And so we recognize that we need to be looking for multiple different ways that we can support the rink infrastructure in St. Louis. So part of that for us is going to be a public-private partnership with St. Louis County. And some of you who might have seen the press conference at Busch Stadium the other day, the county executive here in St. Louis spoke about our partnership. This is just a slide of, we've stepped up in a couple of cases where rinks have closed and programs have needed ice time. The first year we lost a facility over in Illinois, and we provided almost 300 hours for a local organization. We've got the same kind of challenge here as we're about to lose one of our busiest facilities, the Hardee's Iceplex out in Chesterfield next year. So we are in a race with time to replace that ice and ideally create new sheets as well as quickly as possible. The St. Louis Ice Center is the project we're working on. It'll be based out in Maryland Heights on county parkland. And the final scope of the project, whether we do 3 sheets or 4 sheets, still to be determined. We're looking at most likely one of those sheets will be an outdoor facility, one of the sheets will be an event arena, and then one will also be the Blues primary practice facility. So big project. Any of you who have worked on these things knows there's a lot of heavy lifting to do. And but I have to say, unfortunately, we're in a bit of a crisis right now with one of our busiest facilities coming offline next year. So our commitment, our focus, and quite honestly, our efforts are all geared towards getting into the ground this spring. And much work has been done on this to get to this point over the last 2 years, and we're confident that we're making good progress. One of the things that we talked about when we had the USA Hockey event was the opportunity for us to create a holiday youth hockey tournament, which was going to really service that heartland of hockey. I believe the number we found was, I don't know, I think it's 40 or 50% of USA Hockey registrants can get to St. Louis within an 8-hour drive. And so not everybody wants to jump in the car for 8 hours, but creating an affordable tournament that people can drive to, a 3-day tournament. We're actually going to do 2 sets of 3. Will be launched this year, multiple facilities. Larry Boyd, a number of people are supporting this, and our goal is for this obviously to be an annual event that teams throughout the Midwest find as a great option for them during this time. So last thing I'll just touch on, the NHL's premier event without question is the Winter Classic, and we have been, if you will, lobbying to get this event for some time. The season coming up is our 50th anniversary. As you look at this picture, whether there's snow or fake snow, there's going to be an ice rink going across one of the nation's most iconic baseball fields. 2 of the greatest rivals in the sport will be playing. It'll be framed by the arch. The other day we had an event to press conference. We're on the field. I talked up front about, my love of the game. I couldn't be any luckier to get to do what I do. You can imagine what a great event this is going to be. So just a quick video that features this event coming to St. Louis.
Take a good look, fans. Take a good look. This might be the last time at bat in the Major League. The Cardinals hold the it might be. It could be. It is a swing and a miss, and that's the winner. Bush has pitched a no-hitter. Smith corks one into right down the line. Swing! Get up, baby, get up. It's gonna go. It's get up. What a moment. He has it. It's the Cardinals are world champion for 2007.
If you want to become a season ticket holder, you can also have access to purchase tickets if you're interested. We just finishing up again. I want to thank you. I think there are 2 words that, for me, sort of characterize what I love about the game and what it's given back to me, the best moments I've had in it, what I've seen, what I've learned. and it's heart and character. And I think the people in this room who have committed so much of your free time, your personal time, to growing young hockey players and giving them the opportunity to have that experience. Again, for that, I thank you. Thanks.